Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors. On this episode of Toys Are the Way, we will be taking a look at the most recent wave of vintage collection figures. If you're new to the channel or a fan of Star Wars collecting, be sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell to stay notified. Upcoming videos will feature similar reviews, diorama builds, and more from the vintage collection, so stay tuned. Welcome back everyone. Today I am very excited to add this amazing wave of vintage collection figures to my collection. Seems like it was a really long time ago when I pre-ordered these on Entertainment Earth, but they're finally here and I can't explain how excited I am to just add these figures to my collection and displays. And it just has to be said that the vintage collection is doing fantastically well these days. The character selections that we're getting are awesome, and the attention to detail and articulation on these newly tooled figures is simply top notch. Additionally, these wonderful waves are providing us with some incredible art for our mint on card collections. With that being said, let's take a closer look at these figures. And first up we have the 501st Clone Trooper on a lovely Clone Wars card. I'm very happy to continue to add more characters from the Clone Wars to my carded collection. And here we have the Trooper looking pretty good on this card. It's not exactly my favorite image. I feel like they had a lot of different resources that they could have pulled images of the 501st Trooper from, but this is what we got. It's pretty good. I like the dynamic pose where he's holding up his rifle. I think the only thing that kind of bothers me is this blue lighting that seems to be a little blown out on his helmet, but other than that, pretty decent image. You got some cool like lighting and effects in the background, just kind of popping everything off. And then you have the figure looking fantastic on this bubble with a nice blue color on the name pill. On the back, he is VC 240 in the line, and you can see some wonderful images of the previous wave figures and the figures that we are currently looking at. So this wave case only contains one of the 501st Trooper, but I've ordered several of them off of Entertainment Earth and they just haven't arrived yet. So I'll definitely be opening this figure up and hopefully get a nice carded sample later in the future. And here we have our 501st Trooper out of the package, and I gotta say he's looking pretty fantastic. I'm really happy that Hasbro decided to release this figure again, giving collectors a second chance to army build these. I know I've personally always wanted to add a lot more of these to my collection, and now we have a chance to do so. Here's a comparison with the previous release. The differences you can see are the detailing and weathering on the shoulder and chest armor, which is a nice touch and I like seeing that. The negatives are that you don't get the silver detailing on the blaster anymore, and the rifle is different, which I actually prefer the older rifle more. I think it is a bit more in scale and of course has silver detailing, which is nice. Hasbro has recently just been going with the rifle that they use for the ARC Trooper packs, which is, it's nice, but I don't know. I like consistency when it comes to displaying my figures, and that's just something that kind of gets a little bit annoying. And the main difference between these figures is the head sculpt, which as you can see is vastly different and quite an improvement. I am so happy that they went ahead and did this upgrade. It looks way better. The likeness to Tamora Morrison is spot on, and I'm just really happy to be able to add a lot more of these figures and just build up my 501st Legion. And if you weren't aware, this is a VC45 mold, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with the articulation. It has a lot of what you need it to do in order to achieve a variety of different poses. I do think that, it would be nice to get an upgraded Clone Trooper. I think, some rocker ankles and just like slightly updated leg articulation would be nice. This figure is starting to be, a little dated when compared to some of the other amazing vintage collection releases that we've got. But it's still a great figure and it can do many of the things that you'll need it to do. So if you are considering picking several of these up to army build, I would highly recommend it. And next up we have my personal favorite, the Deathwatch Mando from The Mandalorian. Here we have him on a lovely card back with a nice Kenner logo down below and a fantastic image of the character from the series. Here you can see him with his arm pointed upward, instructing the other Mandalorian to fly away and save Din Djarin. This figure is actually specific to the card art. As you can see, he has two stripes on his armor plate. There's actually 3 variants of this character in the series. You can see a 2-stripe, a 3-stripe, and a no stripe. The one with 3 stripes is actually the one who flies away with Din Djarin. It would be cool to maybe get an army builder set of that in the future, but you never know. Moving on, you can see the character looks really nice on that orange name pill color. I like the way that pops with the blue. I'm also such a fan of this like turquoise color on his helmet. I think it just looks really nice. It's a great card to get into your collection. On the back, he is VC 219 in the line. Very excited to have this one to the collection. Such a great scene from The Mandalorian, and I'm very excited to have a bunch of these added to my displays. I ordered probably way too many, but it's a fantastic figure and really awesome offering from the vintage collection. Now, the thing I'll say about this figure is that right out of the packaging, it displays very well. The articulation is top notch, and this figure just looks so good. Look at the detail and just, oh man, this is a great one to add to your collection. I have a little bit of a quality control issue there. As you can see, the paint wasn't fully dried and just a little smudged, and that's something that's been happening a lot recently with some of the Hasbro products, and I wish they would just, do a slightly better job with that. On this figure, it doesn't bother me too much because it just looks like a little bit of weathering, but nonetheless, I'm very happy with this figure. He is really cool. A big upgrade is that the rangefinder is now articulated. I wish they would have done that to the Boba Fett that we got a few months back. It would have been really nice to have that articulation added to the rangefinder, but really awesome that we got it on this release. Taking a closer look at all the detail, there's just some really nice paint apps and just really nice coloring on this figure. His boots look nice in like a shiny leather. He's got fantastic articulation, as I said. He's got the new ball-jointed hips, which are really easy to engage with. Swivel at the thigh, rocker ankles, so this figure can do a lot of different posing. The arms are great. The armor does not get in the way of putting his arms up. He's got a fantastic holster made of a nice soft plastic that the pistol fits into and stays in very nice and snug. So that is a great thing to have. I'm always a fan of holsters. His rifle has some nice detail to it. There's no real weathering on it. It's just a solid black, but I think it looks really nice. And yeah, I am very happy to have this one in the collection. A really A+ figure right here. And next up we have Master Assassin Fennec Shand on a Book of Boba Fett card. Definitely a little funny that our first Book of Boba Fett card is not Boba Fett himself, but nonetheless, it is awesome to finally get Fennec Shand into the vintage collection. We have a nice image of her at Jabba's palace when Boba assumes power. I like that there's a lot of warm tones going on this card. There's a lot of red, the Book of Boba Fett logo, the name pill color, but I like it, and it also pops with that nice red glow from that vent in Jabba's palace. The figure looks awesome in the bubble, lots of cool accessories. You've got her helmet, a spatchka bottle, and 2 blaster rifles. So that's always great to see more accessories with a figure. On the back, she is VC 221 in the line. And it is definitely really nice to finally have Fennec Shand in the vintage collection. And once again, we have a figure that poses incredibly well straight out of the packaging. Not to mention that the paint applications on this figure are extraordinary. Just look at this tiny little paint detail on her forearms and on the boots. That is done really well and clean. You can also see it here on the soft goods. It is just done very nicely. I'm also extremely happy that they went with soft goods. It does not limit the range of motion of this figure, which it is just awesome to pose this figure. I'm glad that, we're getting these new updated ball jointed hips because this character is well deserving of such articulation. Also, you can see that orange detailing on her braids. That's also just done really well, and the face sculpt is done also very well in my opinion. I think it looks a lot like the character, and they've done a fantastic job. This hairpiece is a nice bendable plastic, so it doesn't really get in the way or hinder anything, and it is also removable. and it is removable so that you can put it on her helmet and still have that braid displayed. The rifle is pretty decent. I think the bandolier or strap is a little bit annoying. I don't know, it's just molded in a way that I think it works because you can put it on the figure's shoulder, but I don't know, it just looks a little odd when not on her shoulder, but it does not really bother me. She has nice hinges at the wrist, which I think is very important because it allows her to get this nice sniper position with this rifle. So big fan of that. Just lots of detailing throughout this figure too, just like folds and detail on her armor and just the clothing. Everything is just done really well. So very happy with that. But let's put the helmet on real quick and take a look at her like that. And here's the figure with her helmet on, and man, she looks awesome. I'm a big fan of this costume design, and I'm happy that Hasbro thought of a clever way to give us a modular ponytail to use with her helmet. So that was really awesome thinking on their part. Here you can see the rifle with her strap on, and it looks great. I can't knock it, it looks cool. I'm glad that, you have that ability to have the rifle displayed like this. It's got some cool orange detailing on it as well. So all in all, this is an A+ figure, and it is awesome to have this lovely Fennec Shand figure in our collections now. Taking a quick look at her accessories, here is her spatchka bottle, which is the same one that comes with the Navarro Cantina. And it's got a tiny little peg hole that, you can slip her finger into and actually have her hold it. So that's really cool. Always a big fan of more accessories, especially a little bar, like alcohol bottles and stuff like that. They look good in a variety of different displays. So really happy that she came with that. And lastly, she comes with this extra blaster rifle with some nice brown detailing on the end. And even if you don't display her with this, it's always great to get extra weapons. And next we have Master Yoda on his Empire Strikes Back card. This is a card that people have been waiting to make its way into the vintage collection, so it's great that we finally have it. A nice classic image here of Yoda. You can see the backpack accessory displayed on the card, so that's really cool. What would have been really nice, in my opinion, is if they included the snake, which is seen in the original 96 release, and they also did it for the retro collection. So honestly, they could have just used that retro collection one and put it in here, and I would have been pretty happy. I think the snake would have been a great accessory. But nonetheless, this is a great figure. It is the exact one from the Cave of Evil 3-pack from what I can tell. It doesn't look like, he's got an upgraded face sculpt or anything like that. And it's a great figure, but I probably won't open this because I already have that figure loose. Possibly if I see another one in store, I'll pick it up for a Dagobah display, but nonetheless, it's great to get a second chance to get this figure if you don't have it. On the back, he is VC 218 in the line. And like I said, it's great to finally have this card back in the vintage collection and a second chance to pick up this figure. Maybe it would have been cool if we got a Dagobah playset. They could have packed this in. That would have also been an interesting release. Maybe they can still do it in the future and, like I said, put the snake in there. I think that would be really cool. And here's a closer look at Yoda out of the package. And if you've never held this figure, he is tiny. Just look at him. I think this is the best Yoda that is available. He's got a really fantastic face sculpt, lots of detail. I think it looks awesome. It's definitely the best one in my opinion. He's got some nice hair detail and paint apps back there. The soft goods are really nice in my opinion. I think the sleeves are just a touch long, but nothing too crazy. I'm always for soft goods, and I think these ones are done pretty well. He's got a nice little Force sculpted hand going on right there, so really cool. You can try to recreate that scene when he lifts up the X-Wing. The only negative is that underneath here he does have swivel at the elbow, which is a bit of a shame. They can pop out, not super easily, but if you try to like bend his arm back or something, it will pop out. So it would have been nice if that was a joint, and it has not been upgraded on the new release. He's got this nice little belt, which is removable. It's just held in place with a peg. He's also got this tiny accessory around his neck. And he's also got his cane, which is sculpted really well, and he can hold it either like this, or can also hold like so. Also got these little hinges at his ankles, which don't don't really add much because this character can't do too many crazy poses. He does have swivels so that you can put him into this position, so it's nice that you can get him to sit. But other than that, there's not much else you can do with this Yoda. But then again, he doesn't do a whole lot at this point in the movie. So here's the Luke Skywalker from that Cave of Evil set, and as you can see, the backpack displays on him pretty well. I think it's a pretty decent size. It might be a slight bit oversized, but I don't think it looks bad. Yoda fits in there well, and the character is able to put the backpack on securely, and, it doesn't fall off or anything like that. I think it's also cool to get the backpack back out there because we've seen it in the most recent episode of Book of Boba Fett, and Luke still has it and puts Grogu in there. Grogu's really tiny, so he would probably just fall to the bottom. You might have to put some tissue paper or something in there just to keep him at the right level. But yeah, here's the backpack. It looks pretty great. So a nice accessory to get. And saving this incredible figure for last, we have Ahsoka Tano Corvus on a Mandalorian card. A fantastic image of Rosario Dawson. Look at that pose. This is probably my favorite card of the entire wave. It just looks really awesome. And it's great that we got this live action version of this character. The figure looks fantastic on this bubble. I love the nice blue ultramarine type of color that they used. I think it pops really well with her orange and just, yeah, this looks fantastic. Really happy to have this one. She is VC 222 in the line. And like I said, it's great that we got this live action version of the character. We just recently got the Clone Wars version, and that was just an incredible figure. So really awesome that we continue to get more Ahsokas. Who knows if she's going to change her outfit for the upcoming series. Maybe we'll be getting another figure. But in the meantime, very happy to add this one to my Mandalorian carded collection. And just like Fennec and the Deathwatch Mandalorian, this Ahsoka figure is simply top-notch. Some of the best work that Hasbro has ever produced. Man, I just gotta say, look at the face sculpt. It looks awesome. They did such a fantastic job. All the face sculpts recently have just been looking really great, and I'm very happy with the work Hasbro is producing. The paint apps are done really well on this sample of mine, so very happy to get this figure in the line. Originally, I was a little skeptical about this sculpting of her pants. I thought it looked a little odd, but once I have it in hand, it just looks great. I don't think it looks weird at all. That is a very clever way of, sculpting these baggy fabric-looking pants, but still just having the articulation and just it not looking weird. And just like the other figures, she has the updated ball-jointed hips and just poses really well. It's got rocker ankles. Man, she can just do anything you need her to do. This is Jedi level articulation right here. The arms are also awesome. They just do anything you need her to do. The forearms actually appear to be the same ones that we got on the Clone Wars version, so that is a nice reuse of tooling right there by Hasbro. She grips the sabers very well. You can see some fantastic detailing here around her belt area. Just lots of detail throughout. The soft plastic is nice. It doesn't hinder any movement, so really, really top-notch stuff here. I'm very excited to get the deluxe version of this character with the soft goods robe and Morai, which I'm very excited to get Morai in the line. Many people didn't notice Morai in the scene, and a very important character to Ahsoka's story. And hopefully we see more of Morai in live action. Taking a little bit of a closer look, you can see the detailing on the saber hilts. There's a little bit there, so that's a nice attention to detail. It's also really cool that this is the first Star Wars figure to ever have clear lightsabers. So just something very unique to Ahsoka and this figure. And I just can't wait to set this figure up in some variety of scenes and do some awesome shots with this character. So I'm very happy to have this one. And I gotta say, Hasbro, you did a fantastic job. 100% A+ character right here. And there you have it, the most recent wave of Star Wars The Vintage Collection figures. And I've got to say, well done, Hasbro. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a closer look at these figures. Please feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thank you everyone, and I'll see you on the next video.